And so there's something about those great artists like Dostoevsky that I flat don't understand. Somehow their wonder kid breaks through in some way that doesn't happen, at least never happened for me. But my attraction to Dostoevsky and Kafka, Franz Kafka, if you want to know about shame, if you want to experience what shame is, you know, don't read the textbooks about shame. Read Franz Kafka. Read the short stories of Franz Kafka, the Metamorphosis, where he wakes up one morning and finds himself transformed into a gigantic insect. I mean, can you think of a better metaphor for a person who's shame-based? And he always had this troubled relationship with his father. And there's a scene where he's scurrying back to his bedroom with his 50 little legs, and he gets caught in the door, and his father is beating him with a broom. And I mean, if you want to do a deep breath about what it feels like to have an authoritarian father, to be a helpless child, to be getting shamed by an authoritarian father when you're a helpless child, it's incredible kind of metaphor. And in the trial, Kafka says Gregor Samsa woke up, Joseph K. woke up one morning and found himself arrested, and he didn't know why. See, that happened to a lot of us. Suddenly you were indicted. You had this original sin. You had stain on you, and you didn't know why. So I was attracted to these people. This was my wonder child. I was attracted to these people. I was moving toward them. I was working on Nietzsche. I was writing my dissertation on Nietzsche. And it was like, what, the old order didn't like this. And I was considered to be a rebel. Now, in all fairness to the religious order that I was in, I was a rebel. I was attacking the old order. And I got drunk one night in the monastery. Now, this is frowned on. This is highly frowned on. And I went running down the corridor screaming curses at my superiors. See, here I am within the old order. And of course, they asked me to leave. I didn't walk gently into the night. It's not like it was a blessing, really, because I don't know whether I could have left. I was so dependent. And I remember riding the train back from Toronto, drinking ale, kind of soothing, thinking I was the worst character that had ever lived because I'd failed. And I had an uncle who said, you didn't have the guts to make it. Like this was an endurance contest. But then when I came home, I was absolutely floundered for about a year. I didn't know where to go. I was 31 years old. I didn't know how to drive a car. See, I'd gone in there at 21. We had never had a car. I didn't have enough money to have a car. I never learned to drive a car. I was really a child in a lot of ways. And I walked back out of there. But what I got when I began to do this work is that this was my child. This was my wonder child. And he knew that I had to move on, that I couldn't have a life if I stayed in the old order.